went through. Everyone saw their race program was down somewhat. There was talk of Kevin leaving, sponsors leaving. There was so much going on. Richard Childress stepped up. He made a huge financial commitment to this race organization. You see the power that they have. Yeah, Kevin is bought all in. Oh, they've got some steam. Kevin is 100% in, and when he's 100% in, this cat's bad to the bone. They're really, really good right now, and they're a threat to win that championship.
Well, speaking of power and green, the upcoming green flag, those are two terms race fans are very familiar with, right? But power and green have taken on an alternate meaning here at Pocono Raceway. That's the Speedway's new solar farm located outside the short chute between turns 2 and 3. Friday, the Speedway held a ribbon cutting and a formal unveiling. It's going green without waving a flag.
The sun is free, it's clean, it comes up every morning, it goes down every night.
We make power from sunlight here. We convert solar energy into electricity.
It's like you're taking a plug and actually plugging into the sun 93 million miles away.
This solar farm is the first of its kind to completely power a sports arena.
We'll be running everything from our RV lots, all of our scoreboards, our lighting. Every drop of power that we use at the track is going to come from here.
Obviously, the cars going around the track is very exciting, but they're burning hydrocarbons, they're burning gasoline. This system here is going to be offsetting a lot of greenhouse gases. The Pocono Raceway is really showing the rest of the sporting world how can we go green.
She's got a solar-powered life.
There's 39,960 panels here on the 25 acres that this farm sits on right now. We've been working on this project for 2.5 years. The solar farm cost approximately $16 million to build and construct.
The track has been using maybe 1.2 million kilowatt hours per year, and this system is probably going to produce at least 3 times that. So a lot of people ask what happens to the excess solar energy if the racetrack's not using it.
The extra energy that we produce will be supplied back to the grid, and from there it'll get used by the local neighbors.
This project is great for a number of reasons. Most of the material has come from the United States. So the panels are made in Perrysburg, Ohio. The lumber that you see is from Oregon. The metal that you see is from California.
Why wouldn't we use it all from the United States? This is an American project. We're here for America. It's American sport. Keep it all American. It's what we need to do here.
And it also employed a lot of local labor.
It was an opportunity for me to take some guys that weren't working and were laid off at the time and give them work.
The economy has hit us hard, especially in construction. So having a project for 50 of those construction workers to work on every day for 2 months is a big impact on our economy.
We need to look and start doing different things to generate more renewable energy here in America. And if we can lead the brigade here in the sports world, then we're going to do that. Pocono Raceway, we're going green and so much more.
And yes, even on an overcast day, those solar panels are feeling the rays of the sun through the clouds and making electricity, just not as great a rate, at as great a rate as they might on an ideal day. Up next, Roush Fenway Racing's 4 cars in today's event are all carrying a decal offering best wishes to their leader. An update on Jack Roush. Plus, we'll hear from his friend and longtime driver, Mark Martin. That's next when we come back to Pocono. City 90 miles north of Philadelphia in the Pocono Mountains sits Pocono Raceway, where the Mattioli family again hosts the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. 500 miles the plan on the most unique oval on the circuit. Team owner Jack Roush remains hospitalized at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, recovering from injuries sustained in a plane crash on Tuesday. A plane Roush was piloting crashed as it attempted to land at an airport in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, site of a huge gathering for aviation enthusiasts. Though he and a passenger walked out of the wreckage, Roush is being treated for facial injuries suffered in the accident, which remains under investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board. A team spokeswoman said Jack has been up and around today, always a good sign, and we certainly wish Jack a speedy recovery. It's the second aviation accident for Roush, who survived a plane crash in Alabama back in 2002. All 4 of Roush Fenway Racing's cars in today's race will carry this decal, wishing their leader well. Let's hear from one of Jack Roush's drivers. Former champ Matt Kenseth is with Jamie.
And Matt has driven for Jack Roush since 2000. So Matt, you guys have been through a lot together. What has it been like this week, and especially this weekend, not having the cat in the hat here?
Well, just worried about him and hope that him and Brenda have speedy recoveries and they're back at the racetrack soon. So it's different being at the track without Jack for sure. It makes me remember Talladega, when he has accidents. So he's in much better shape this time. I actually just talked to him about a half hour ago, and his spirits are up, and he's telling me what to not do wrong today. So hopefully we can listen to him and get a good finish.
Well, Matt will start 26 today, and what a feat it would be to go to victory lane with his boss watching in the hospital. Mike?
And Jamie, one guy who spent the vast majority of his career driving for Jack Roush is one of his good friends today, Mark Martin. Mark, what was your reaction when you heard the news this week?
I was devastated and really wishing that I had more information. But, you know, I want to give a shout out to Jack out there because I know you're watching. So many people miss you here at the racetrack, and it doesn't feel right here without you. And so many people love you, and we want you back here soon.
And that's genuine emotion, Alan. Certainly you know that if Mark Martin wins today, he'll be thinking of Jack.
Mark Martin getting ready to go racing today from the 10th starting spot. He's got a good car as we get ready to go racing here at Pocono, keeping an eye on the weather and hoping we get started on time and with a full 500 miles at the Tricky Triangle in Pennsylvania. We'll talk about racing this tough track when we come back. The live scene at the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania, where the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series 500-miler begins shortly. We hope. We're keeping an eye on the radar. There are some showers in the area. You know, we talked last week about teams bringing their best stuff to Indy. Well, there are a few teams who are using the car today that they raced in last Sunday's Indianapolis event. Greg Biffle's and Mark Martin's, for example. In this highly engineered era of NASCAR, using a car in back-to-back races is not something normally done. So what's it take to turn a car around in a couple of days? Tim Brewer in our Craftsman Tech Garage can show us. Tim?
Alan, first of all, when the car gets back to the shop, you're going to disassemble the car. The engine, the transmission, the rear end, the radiator, it all comes out of the car. But what we're going to do, we're going to magnaflex all the components on the car, checking for surface cracks. But coming to Pocono, you might want to change the brake package somewhat. You're going to use a lot of brakes here. But the high friction pieces like the ball joints, the tie rod ends, naturally you're going to change all those because you got a lot of bumps here. But the trailing arms, the rear end housing, we might replace the whole unit, or there again, we just might repack the bearings, put the whole assembly back together, and take it to Pocono.
Hey, Brewer.
Yes, sir.
You know who the crew chief is that has the most wins here at Pocono?
That would be me.
I thought you would know that. And check out the list of drivers here, folks. 5 wins with 5 different drivers.
Wow.
Tip of the cap to our boy, Mr. Brewer. No resting on those laurels, Tim, now.
I'll tell you
Stay
what,
after it in there.
That's a great batting lineup right there.
Yeah, anybody would take it. Thank you, Tim.
Sir.
All right, let's talk about this very difficult 3-cornered racetrack and what it's going to take to get a car around this place and a driver around this place successfully all day. For our What to Watch For segment, I want to talk to all of our analysts. Sure. Rusty, former Pocono winner. Big Brad, upstairs. DJ, former Pocono winner. And Andy, and talk about what it takes to get it done here. What are you going to be watching for today? DJ, you first.
Well, I'm going to go, if you heard Casey Kane talk a little bit earlier, I'm going to go with his assumption that you have to get off of turn 3. And I think that's where I'm going to be watching today. You know, they talk about this new patch that was put there about 3 years ago. They've all been utilizing that about 3 lanes up from the bottom. And Tony Stewart told me the other day, yes, losing some grip. The biggest thing is getting gray like the other part, and it's really hard to find. So I'm going to be interested to see who can find that grip.
I'm going to be all over the 2-tire versus 4-tire thing. Look, I've been leading this race many times up here and pitted late in the race, put 4 tires on. The other guys put 2, and I lose the race. That's happened to me twice before I finally got hit in the head and figured it out. So I'm going to be watching that one. And then, you know, I think our comrade Dale Jarrett up there, he actually lost the race putting 4 on instead of 2 at the end. So that's a big, big deal. And after Indianapolis last weekend, McMurray winning on 2 versus 4, man, for me.
Rusty, I'm also going to be watching strategy, but a little different strategy. This track is so long and the lap times are so long that you can actually make a green flag stop. If you're the leader or can see the leader, you can get in and out without losing a lap, and it changes a lot of your strategy. I'm going to watch for guys to see if they can take advantage of this.
I think the most interesting thing is going to be watching 3,740 feet down this front straightaway, 205 miles an hour into turn 1, brakes. Will we see any brake failures like we saw a couple of years ago with Jeff Gordon when he hit the wall a ton? They're going to be hard on those brakes. They're going to have to manage them, take care of them, and like Denny Hamlin says, get on them, get off, and let that baby roll through turn 1.
All right, speaking of Denny Hamlin, the last 2 races here, Denny has won, right? But he has been shuffled back late by late strategy and had to rally to the front. So we'll see if Hamlin can make it 3 straight. We'll see what the weather's going to do. It could add another element of drama to things as we get to and past halfway. Again, right now we are in shape to go racing, but there are some showers on the radar in the area and a forecast of a 40 to 50% chance of showers throughout the afternoon. So that's the story as we get set to go here at Pocono as the 66th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race gets set to unfold on the tricky triangle. And if recent history is our guide in any way, it's going to be a hard-fought race with a few different twists of plot and capped by a wild